That's good we ballyhooly Hollywood. Where any office boy or young mechanic.
Hello, Hollywood. Welcome to this morning's Walk of Fame ceremony. I'd like to give a shout out to our fans watching our live video stream presented by our media partner, Variety. I'm Rana Gadban, President and CEO of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, which is presenting the program. For today's Walk of Fame ceremony, we are honoring a man whose beloved game shows have entertained millions. Today, Hollywood honors Harry Friedman, was the 2,680th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But before we invite him up to the stage, first let me tell you about our honoree. Long before student internships, Omaha native Harry Friedman began hanging around the city's television stations, learning by watching and doing whatever management permitted. In 1971, he arrived in Los Angeles and gave himself 6 months to find a job. With less than 24 hours remaining on his self-imposed deadline, he landed a part-time question writer spot on the Hollywood Squares, and the rest is history. He then moved to produce Wheel of Fortune in 1995 and Jeopardy in 1997. Soon after, he was elevated to executive producer for both shows. Harry has become one of the most decorated producers of game shows in history. He has produced more than 6,270 hours of game shows for American television audiences. The majority of that comes from producing more than 9,500 episodes of Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. Harry, a multiple Emmy Award winner, is the only producer to ever have won 2 Emmys in the same category in a tie with himself. A Peabody Award winner and an inductee into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. He also has received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, and Harry and his wife, Judy, are champions of philanthropy. The pair supports the Fond du Lac Area Foundation, Harry and Judy Friedman Family Foundation, Mark Corwin Memorial Film and Television Scholarship Fund, Marlene F. Landy Cancer Foundation, National Third Dog Foundation, and Omaha Children's Hospital. Let's give them a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our honoree, Harry Friedman. But before we hear from Harry today, we have 3 guest speakers who'd like to say a few words on behalf of our honoree. Our first speaker today has been the host of Jeopardy since its syndicated debut in 1984. He has become one of the television's most enduring and iconic figures, engaging millions of viewers worldwide with impeccable delivery of answers and questions. In May 2019, he won the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Game Show Host, bringing his total to 6. He also won a Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Please help me welcome to the stage Walk of Famer Alec Trebek.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hosted my first television quiz show in 1964. And over the past 55 years, there have been many other game shows and quiz shows that I have had the pleasure of hosting. It has also been my honor to work with some of the brightest minds in television daytime. Mark Goodson, Merrill Heater, and I would put Harry Friedman in that company as well. He's always pushing the envelope. He's very imaginative. He works hard to stay ahead of the game. And when you combine the professional relationship that Harry and I have enjoyed for the past 22 years with a personal relationship also, Judy and Harry have become very dear friends of Jean and myself. And to me, when you're working in this industry, when you have the professional relationship and the personal relationship also, it doesn't get much better than that. So I am delighted to be here among all of you today to share with you our good wishes for a man who deserves it, Harry Friedman. Thank you.
Before we introduce our next speakers, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the chairperson of the board of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, president and founder of the Hollywood Museum, and vice chair of the California Film Commission, Donnell Dadigan. I'd also like to acknowledge television producer and Walk of Famer, chairman of the Walk of Fame Selection Committee, Vin DiBona. And last but not least, the chairperson of the Hollywood Chamber Community Foundation, Jeff Zernim. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our men in blue, our police officers who are always here supporting the Walk of Fame. Thank you for all that you guys do. Our next speakers are quite a pair and will join me on stage together. However, before they come up, I'd like to say a few words. The first is an amazing woman who quickly became a household name when she was named co-host of Wheel of Fortune in 1982. After auditioning alongside over 200 other hopefuls, producer and Walk of Famer Merv Griffin ultimately awarded her the spot. She has appeared in more than 7,000 episodes of America's Game. Next up is also a gentleman who is in his 38th year as host of Wheel of Fortune. He joined America's Game in 1981. Since then, he has earned 3 Emmy Awards, a People's Choice Award, and more. In April 2018, he, along with co-host, our honoree and Wheel of Fortune itself, was inducted into the NAB Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Say hello to Walk of Fame, Vanna White and Pat Sajak.
Wow. Unlike Alex, we don't personally care for Harry all that much, so this will be brief. Vanna, you say something nice.
We love Harry. Harry, we love you. I'm giving you a big kiss. No, it has been a wonderful 25 years that we have worked together, and there is not a more personable, nice, considerate, professional friend, producer that I have ever met in my life. He is such a joy to work with, and I'm so thrilled that he is getting this honor because he so deserves it.
Absolutely. It is It's impossible to overstate just how much Harry Friedman has meant to Wheel of Fortune. When he came aboard 25 years ago, we were in dire need of someone with imagination and creativity, raw talent, and he had that. And he instantly sized up our strengths and made them stronger, our weaknesses and shored those up. And I honestly believe if Harry hadn't come along, we might be talking about Wheel of Fortune in the past tense today. That's how important he is. And I'm going to say something real quick, and I don't want to be a downer, because it's been a melancholy year for everyone on both shows, because this is Harry's last season with both shows. He's decided, like, you know, he likes his family and stuff like that. Where are your priorities? We're laughing through the tears. It's been difficult, and moments like this are wonderful, and we're so proud and happy for him. But there's, again, a certain amount of melancholy. He is beloved by all who work with him. We've been honored to have not only a man of a great talent and skill, but just a great man. Congratulations, Harry, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Vanna and Pat. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce administers the Walk of Fame on behalf of the City of Los Angeles. And on behalf of our Los Angeles City Council member, Mitch O'Farrell, the city has provided a beautiful resolution that we will now like to present to our honoree, Harry Friedman. Back to the media. All right. You want me to put that here for you? And now a very special moment. On behalf of the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, we now declare today Harry Friedman Day in Hollywood. And now's the time you all have been waiting for. It's time to hear from our honoree. So ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Harry Friedman.
It's a gorgeous day. Thank you. Thank you to Rana Godbon and the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce. Anna Martinez, thank you so much for all your help and support. And thanks to Vin DeBona and the Walk of Fame Committee. Vin, thank you. Thank you to Tony Vinciquerra and Mike Hopkins from Sony, and Armando Nunez and Steve Locascio from CBS for nominating me for this award and for their continued support. Thank you. And to Merv Griffin for giving us the two most valuable game show formats ever created. It's probably not on Vin DeBona's resume that he directed the epic, groundbreaking VHS video, How to Have a Money-Making Garage Sale with Phyllis Diller. But I know he directed it because I co-wrote it, and we shot it in my garage. Vin, I doubt that either of us could have imagined that one day you would have ABC's longest running primetime series, 30 years and counting, and that both of us would have been honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, thank you. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to publicly acknowledge the support, generosity, patience, encouragement, and especially the kindness shown to me over the years. And it's great that so many of those people are here today. I'm talking here. The Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy production teams are here. Are you not? The finest group of smart, creative, caring professionals that any producer could hope for. They are without equal by any measure, but here's one that's indisputable. Together, they have produced more than 15,000 episodes of the most respected game shows in TV history. And my family is here. Nothing is more important to me than making you proud. Without Judy, Leslie, Amy, Dax, Ayla, and Xander in my life, I don't know where I would be, but I certainly wouldn't be here on this special day. And it's special for another reason. It's my grandson Xander's 9th birthday today. Z, thank you for letting me share your spotlight. I promise it won't happen again. Until Ayla gets her star. Roberta Kent is here. Where's Roberta? Roberta, stand up, please. Writer, comedian, big personality, big voice, and it turns out a big heart to go with it. I was new to LA when I met Roberta. She claimed to know people at Hollywood Squares and said she could get me a meeting. And although I had only recently fallen off the turnip truck, I was skeptical. 2 weeks later, I was meeting with Hollywood Squares producers Bill Armstrong and Jay Reddick. And Jay Reddick is here. It was Jay who hired me as a freelance writer, $5 for each question and joke that you used. Soon after that, I became a full-time member of the writing staff. My first office was the size of a broom closet. That's because it was the broom closet. My small typewriter table was wedged in between a bucket with a wet mop that reeked of pine sol, and that was on one side. On the other side was a telex machine. If you're under 50, somebody here will explain what a telex machine is. But I didn't care. I had a writing credit on a hit TV show. For the next 10 years, I was incredibly spoiled. Being the youngest in my family, I was used to being spoiled, and this was no different. I had access to learning every aspect of TV production, distribution, publicity, post-production, talent relations, and more. And thanks to Jay, one of the most creative comedy minds ever, I also learned it's possible to work really hard and still have fun. I won my first Emmy. I was promoted to associate producer and took on expanded responsibilities at the studio. I met and wrote for some of the biggest stars. Comedians in particular loved doing squares. They trusted our writing and knew they were going to be set up perfectly by the very best straight man in the business, Peter Marshall. Peter Marshall is here today. He not only was a great straight man, he was the perfect host in the sense of being a traffic cop, to control these 9 stars, make the contestants feel at home, keep the show moving, knowing when to go, most importantly, knowing when to step aside and let the celebrities shine. You were truly the master of the Hollywood Squares. Rick Rosner is here. Rick? Working for Rick on the new Hollywood Squares and other projects wasn't so much a job as it was an adventure. Rick doesn't do ordinary. He thrives on the what if of life, and over time I learned to appreciate how much that attitude can spark creativity. What if we do Hollywood Squares at Radio City Music Hall? Yeah. We'll have the Rockettes and marching bands and a steam curtain. Yeah. Or how about on the beach in the Bahamas at Club Med? Oh, Rick, you can't do it in the daylight. They won't be able to see the electronics. That's all right. They'll hold cards with X's and O's. It'll be fun. Come on, it'll be fun. Or we'll do the show on the beach at the Diplomat in Florida. That's it. Hollywood Squares in Hollywood, Florida. I'm sure it was just a coincidence that his parents only lived a block away. In the studio, we booked, I think it was Bobby Brown and New Edition, 5 people. And 5 people didn't quite, all right, a shout out for New Edition. 5 people don't fit comfortably in a square. And Bob Loudon, the director, can't shoot 5 people in a square. So we had in the lower left corner the Hollywood rectangle, an extended square that accommodated 5 people. At Cannell Productions, just down the street, 7083 Hollywood Boulevard, Rick sold a late-night dating show to CBS called Personals. Where do you tape a single show? Of course, in a singles bar. But at the Sheraton at LAX, yep, that's what we did. And this is where Michael Berger comes in. Michael, where are you? Michael and I both had the good fortune to be represented for forever by the most patient, dedicated agent, Richard Lawrence. Michael was the perfect host for Personals. Glib, witty, smart, with a knack for finding humor in the most unlikely situations. The series didn't last, but Michael caught the eye of folks at ABC, and they signed him to host a daytime show with Maddie Montfort, very cleverly called the Mike and Maddie Show. I was brought in as a writer and segment producer. But I think one of the executive producers feared that I had too much influence on Michael, and I was fired for the first time in my life. Well, actually, they said they were letting me go so that I could find more suitable work because, as it was explained, you're clearly not cut out to be in television. Two months later, that EP was gone. And I'm told that one of the hosts insisted that I be hired back, and I was. Please tell me it wasn't Maddie. Alan Levine is here. A family friend and attorney who left private practice to run Sony Pictures, and he kept his word about keeping me in mind. He set up a meeting for me with Andy Kaplan. And I thought it had something to do with the new game show channel that Sony was launching. It did not. Would I be interested in producing Wheel of Fortune? Gee, I don't know. Would I be interested in winning the lottery? I can now admit that everything in the meeting that followed was a complete blur. What I do remember, Andy, is the many ways you helped ensure that I would succeed. You empowered me to look at Wheel and then Jeopardy not just as productions, but as businesses with unlimited potential. Thinking long term is a big adjustment for production people who can only think in 13-week increments. I'll always be grateful for the trust you placed in me. Steve Mosko is here. Officially, he was the chairman of Sony Pictures TV, but I think most of us thought of him really more like a CMO, Chief Motivational Officer. Steve, your eternal optimism and deep love and respect for these shows was in evidence every day. But you were always asking questions. How can I help? What do you need? What can I do? Thank you. Television and I really grew up together. My parents had a furniture and appliance store, and then in 1950 or so, they started carrying televisions. And I was 3 or 4 when we got our first TV. I was transfixed, I was captivated, I was hooked. I'm certain that I have a vague memory of this, of seeing the images on the screen and then running around to the back side of the TV to see where those people were. How did they get inside our TV? It took a long time before I realized that's not how it works. My dad took a correspondence course to learn how to be a TV repairman and became one of the first repairmen in Omaha. And I would sometimes go with him on service calls, and I saw firsthand how dependent so many people had already become on their precious TVs. It often felt like my dad was the doctor, and the patients' families were pacing anxiously, hoping their loved one could be saved. In the mid-50s, a lot of retail stores were starting to stay open a couple nights a week, especially during Christmas time. So my mom and dad thought they would give it a try with their furniture and appliance store. The store was on a corner. There was a bus stop. We had big display windows, but you would never ever think of putting a new TV in the window because the sun would discolor the fine mahogany cabinet and wash out the already weak image on the screen. But now it was after dark. Things were very different, and we put that big 17-inch TV in the window facing the street. This was the era of Kukla, Fran and Ollie, George Burns and Gracie Allen, The Milton Berle Show, You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx, The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. And standing on that corner, there were bus riders in heavy wool coats and scarves and gloves, huddled together in the cold Nebraska night air in front of the TV waiting for their bus. And I think my dad rigged up a speaker outside. And the group seemed to grow every week. They laughed, they bonded, they found joy. After a few minutes, they all seemed to be not as cold or as tired or as burdened by whatever had been on their minds that day. It was like magic. One night I couldn't help notice a new member of the group, a man in uniform, the bus driver. That experience sealed the deal for me. I became a lifetime believer in the magic of television. So where's the magic today? I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. It's where you find the magic of TV today. The correct response is, it's when you hear Johnny Gilbert say, and now here's the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek. Or when you hear Jim Thornton say, and now here are the stars of America's game, Pat Sajak and Vanna White. The magic is reflected in the loving eyes and smiling faces of the studio audience. And it's a feeling I know is shared by millions of viewers every night who know where to go for the magic. I'm so very pleased and proud to be a part of that experience and extremely grateful to join Pat, Vanna, and Alex on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Thank you.
And we are very proud and honored to have you join all these stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And Harry, congratulations, a star for a star today. We are honored to be able to unveil the star in just a few moments. So if you can please join us by cheering, and let's give him another round of applause, please. Thank you. We proudly welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Harry Friedman.
Everyone on the left.
Harry, look up.
And right up here, please. Straight ahead. Folks looking down here. And right above him, please. Folks one time up here. One more in there. Straight ahead. One more up top, please. Last one down front. Down front.
What do you think of John?
Harry, stand on it. Stand on the spot.
Look up, Harry. Right here, Harry, sir. Harry.
Harry,
Right in front of you, sir. Down low. Harry. Harry, straight ahead. And Harry, one more up top here. Thank you. And all the way left. No longer arm. Harry, one last time, sir. Right in front of you. All the way left, please. Hey, Harry, can you give both thumbs up right here for your show, Harry? Here for the penny saver.
Harry, stand on it. Stand on this stuff.
And Harry, right up here, sir. Harry, looking down, sir. Please look down when you sir. Harry.
Woo, Harry.
Right here, Harry. Straight ahead. You need to tight. Everybody get tight. You have to look straight ahead. Get Bennett. Hold on, we're going to get Bennett. We're still trying to so close to that garage sale. Gentlemen, right up there, please. Man, look straight ahead. Right above him? Down in the front row. Okay, straight ahead, guys. Straight ahead. I thought it was. Yeah, initially, yeah. That's his dad. Hey, Jay, quick smile up here. Hey, Jay. Hands over here. Harry, look over here. Harry, there you go. Right here, Harry. All right.
Judy.
And Judy and Harry. You should stand on the scar, Harry. Forward and stand on the scar.
Okay, all right.
Give her a big kiss. And Judy and Harry, right up here, please. Pulse one time right in front. Down in front together. And Judy and Harry, right above him. got them all, John. Every one of you.
Santa. Happy birthday. Come on the star.
Okay, everybody come forward a little bit. Just come forward a little bit on the star. Come forward. Everybody, there you go. Come on.
Stand on it.
Okay, straight ahead, everybody. And then right above him, please. Right here, please, everybody. Okay, down in front, right in the middle.
Happy birthday. To your right over here, please. Right to your right.
Okay. Okay, everybody move forward just a little bit. Guys, come forward just a little bit. Come forward.
Stand on the star.
Stand on the star. There you go.
Let's step on the star.
Gentlemen, down in the front row.
Come on, right here, y'all. Perfect.
Gentlemen, looking down here. Front row.
Right here, y'all.
Right here. Gentlemen, looking down the front row, please. Anna. Standing up. Very soft.
No, you did good.